Let's make some no-carve pumpkin monsters. You're going to be given a small pumpkin and some paint. Go ahead and start painting your pumpkin and thinking about if you're going to paint your pumpkin one color and add designs on it, or if you want to add patterns to start off. While I was painting this, I thought it really looked like hair. It reminded me of Frankenstein or a hairy monster because of the way the bristles make that hairy texture. So I was just thinking this could be a face, the top of the pumpkin could be hair, and I was just experimenting. Maybe I was thinking that could be the hair and that can be the eyes underneath. But you could do something like that, or you can paint the whole pumpkin like this. Also, don't forget to paint the stem, and don't forget to wash your brush when you switch colors. You can paint the stem and the pumpkin with any two colors you want. Oh, look at Miss Dowmy dipping her green paintbrush in the blue paint. See, even I make mistakes. Be careful and pay attention to what you're doing. Clean your brush when you switch colors. You can also decorate your pumpkin with patterns. For example, polka dots, stripes, wavy lines, zigzaggy lines. You can paint any kind of design you want on your pumpkin. Don't worry about painting the eyes because Miss Dowming's going to let you pick from googly eyes that I'm going to glue on. So no eyes. Go ahead and just decorate your pumpkin with designs or colors. And don't forget to paint the stem. When you're painting on these pumpkins, since the pumpkins are so waxy and like they're really slick, the paint may not show up very well at first. So paint a dot or line or whatever you're painting, and then you may have to go over it later when it dries. Do not try to make a paint darker by adding wet paint on top of wet paint on top of wet paint. Let it dry for several minutes, or you might even let it dry completely until we see each other on the next art day. Then you can paint over those colors again, and that's called layering. Letting it dry and painting over it again will be called layering. And then the yellow's really light, and I tried to like dot 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 and paint over it, but I'm gonna let that yellow spot dry, and then I'll come back and paint over it a second or maybe even a third layer. Even the next day, it's really dry. I touched it, it's dry after the next day, and I'm gonna paint over those really light designs again, whether it was the whole pumpkin or whether it was polka dots or stripes like this. Okay, so make your make your pumpkin colorful, and it's going to be amazing. Now comes the fun part, adding fun designs to your pumpkin to make it more monstery. You can add pom-poms, so your pumpkin might have like measles or freckles or witch warts. You can add pipe cleaners, and think about googly eyes too. You get to pick out your own googly eyes. I love these pipe cleaners because you can twist them around a marker or a pencil, and you can make designs to add to your stem, and you just wrap it around the stem, and then you can recurve it or rebend it so that it has like a curvy line. If you wrap it around a pencil, it'll be a really tight curl, and if you wrap it around a marker, it'll be a looser curl. They can be long, like this blue one. That way I'm using it to wrap it around my stem. I'm finding the middle of the pipe cleaner and wrapping it around so that I'll have a big long pipe cleaner sticking out of both ends, or you can trim these if they're a little too long, and then you can fix it the way you like after it's attached. You can also bend these with your fingers. You don't have to use the tools. You can bend them any kind of way you want. The wires work the same way, so if you want to have wires instead of the fuzzy pipe cleaners, or you could do both, and you can wrap that around the stem as well. Think about mummy faces, witch faces, werewolf faces, Frankenstein monsters, any kind of spooky monster that makes you feel like Halloween. You can also add beads to your pipe cleaners and those wires, but I'm going to ask if you do 4 beads per pumpkin. If you have more than 4 beads, I'm going to take them off because we have to have enough for everybody. So you can do 1, 2, 3, or 4 beads. Now, once your pumpkin painting part is completely dry, you can paint a mouth. Remember, we're not painting the eyes because that is going to be for googly eyes, but just be careful if you had to add some more paint that's still wet. Just be careful when you're painting. Also, I had to raise my pumpkin up so you can see it, but you may stand up, squat down, any kind of comfortable position since we're painting round pumpkins, and then experiment with what kind of eyes you want and let Miss Dowmy know. Also, I was thinking mummy for this one. So if you want to have a mummy pumpkin, Miss Dowmy can help you wrap around some gauze. And I'm going to be using my hot glue gun when I'm adding the gauze or the pom-poms and the googly eyes, because regular glue just won't cut it. I cannot wait to see what kind of creative, colorful, spooky monsters you make. Have fun.